So today we are going to discuss about the topic of unification of Germany. So in the last class we have discussed Italy. These were the two prominent states which have been unified. And whatever the preconditions which have prevailed in Italy, which helped in its unification, was also has a role in this unification of Germany as well. Okay. So firstly, what was Germany? What was German nationalism? Okay. Germany nationalism, just like Italian nationalism, is based on their language, common language which they were having. What was this language? Germanic language. It is not of a single tribe, but they had common antecedents, that is common culture. These were divided into roughly 314 states before Napoleon. But again, as it is, as Napoleon has come to his power, he has occupied many smaller kingdoms. He has defeated Persia, he has defeated Austria, and made all the states united in, and made them more consolidated into 39 states, which makes sense. Apart from that, all the southern portion of the German states he has formed into the Rhine Federation under the control of France. This is the background. Now in this background, we will look into the various conditions under which has helped the unification of Germany. So you can tell me the challenges. What challenges which Italy faced in its unification? What was the main factors? Who were the two main things which were hindering the unification of Italy? Austria and Metternich. Right? The Metternich, who was very reactionary in his policies, wanted to establish the old order. He was against the revolutionary ideas, and he wanted to keep Austria as the most prominent power in the European politics. He was not okay with the German unifying into a separate state, so that it would mean a larger state, a stronger state being formed in the Union of in the Europe. So he was not against it, he was against it. But however, there were many factors which helped the German states to form into a union and form the Germany as a state. Now we will look into those reasons. What favored them? So from your experience from Italy, tell me what would have been the factors? At least guess koda cheyra. Yes, birth of nationalism. Very good. Next. Next.
Strong army.
Very good. Strong army. Next. ఏంటంటే యంగ్ ఇటలీ. ఓకే. ఇంకా leadership. So what you have seen in the Italy, also you can draw a parallel in the German unification. You have seen that during the Italian unification, it was the nationalist feeling, it was the ideas, and it was the lead taken by one of the prominent Italian states in unification of Italy, that is Piedmont. The state of Piedmont, Sardinia has taken the lead in unification of Italy. The same thing, similar role was taken by Persia in the unification of Germany. Similarly, how Count Kever was the most dominant man in taking the decisions and unification of Italy. Similarly, Bismarck played similar role here. Both have accepted that it was, see, this republic concept is not going to work, and the constitutional means of achieving such measures would never be possible as long as reactionary forces exist in Europe. They were completely against this republican ideas. They were for monarchy. They wanted the old order. Even when it comes to Bismarck, he doesn't even accept the concept of constitutional means. It is the old order, but yet he wanted unification of Germany under single rule. Apart from that, both believed that it is only through militarism it could be possible, that is through war rather than nationalistic feelings or people protests, right, which is the constitutional means. So first look into the impact, like what all made it possible. First is Napoleon's impact. What did Napoleon do? Similarly, as he has unified Italy, he has brought various German states together for the first time. They have seen what advantage they would be having being united for the first time. Apart from that, he had codified laws. That is Napoleonic Code. He has brought common laws, common judiciary. All this what it would do. Apart from that, he brought in various educational reforms. All this created the ideals of being French Revolution has disseminated into the people. Now the same effect which you see in the Italian public then was the same effect you are going to see in the German public now. The spirit of nationalism was flowing through the people. All this because of the direct or indirect effects of Napoleon's rule. Next, the War of Liberation. See, the fight with Napoleon where he was defeated was deemed by themselves as the War of Liberation by the German states. Because as you could see, even in the earlier Italian unification, what did you see? The Napoleon rule, although was in principle very good, but later on he started exploiting the states, right? For his raising the army or financially. So, and apart from that, the French troops were very arrogant with this public. All kind of atrocities were done on them. So, for them, it was a war of liberation. The war they have fought against Napoleon and won was a war of liberation. Whenever there is a war of liberation, what would happen? It would promote nationalism among the people. They were again, rightfully, they were, what do you say? They were inspired by this liberation. People were motivated. Next, what happened to the Vienna settlement of Germany? See, when you see the Vienna settlement, what happened was there was no annexation anywhere. There was no annexation anywhere. As you could see in the earlier Vienna settlement in Italy, the states was divided and given the old order. Similarly, similar thing was done here. Okay, but however, whatever the 39 states which were there, which has been segregated into, they remained the same and they were given to their respective dynasties. Apart from that, they didn't lose any kingdoms or any places to other countries, such as if you could see what happened in Italy. What happened? Which places were given to Austria? Lombardy and Venetia. Very good. So all these both places were annexed to Austria. See, the maximum gains for Austria through this Vienna Congress was achieved through Italy, from Italy, but not through German states. Here the German Federation, the Rhine Federation, which was established by the southern states, was also abolished. Now you have one stronger state, which is Persia, and remaining smaller states. So all this formed into a federation. So it was also decided that they are going to form a federation. Okay, this federation is going to look after for the security and military of the states. And this federation will be headed by the Austria. Understood? ఏమైంది? ఈ అన్ని ఫెడరేషన్స్ ఏవైతే ఇండిపెండెన్స్ వచ్చాయో, they have established a federation. And what is this role of federation? To look into the security of the state as a whole. And who is heading this? Austria. Very good. Next, the German Confederation. This is the German Confederation which I have been telling you about. So from period of 1815 to 1848, it was this federation which had played a major role in the various affairs of the states. This was during this period who dominated the international politics. It was Metternich. So Metternich has used many ways in controlling this federation for making the issues in favorable of Austria and remaining and keeping the nationalists under check, or the radicals who wanted to establish republican form of governments or republican ideas or constitutional form of governments under check during this period. Okay. So what happened during this period? It was so as I've already told you, it was the spirit which has enabled by bringing about the education and other forms. See, if you could see in India also, so what happened when the Western education was introduced in India? What happened?
Native education was also.
No, what happened? What happened in the universities? See, modern education brought liberal ideas and revolutionary ideas into the students. right or wrong? Right? That is the reason why Universities Acts were brought, right or wrong? So similarly, students here also were agitating for republic form of government and constitutional rights. They wanted constitutional rights to be introduced. See these constitutions, so they have formed an association called Brunsfacto. Okay, it was the organization with revolutionary ideas. What revolutionary organizations we used to have?
HR.
Yugantar group. Revolutionary. Subhash Chandra Bose, Yugantara. Yes. In the Bengal, you find the Yugantar group, such kind of similar group. So I just wanted to bring a parallel between both of this. See, whenever revolution, you find similar kinds of things. So these have become very radical and started doing all mischievous terrorist activities. So Metternich had serious, what was his sole aim? To keep all these revolutionist ideas under control. So he didn't accept these kinds of things. So he has organized the German Confederation at Karlsbad, and he has drafted certain rules as per the Karlsbad, which is called as the Karlsbad Decree. It was majorly aimed at controlling the revolutionary ideas throughout German states. See here, first thing he has done is he wanted to keep the revolutionary ideas under control. What were the revolutionary ideas? Where are they born? It is through the universities. So he has kept severe restrictions on the universities. He has kept severe watch on them. He has appointed spies. It was made sure that spies were appointed to look into this. And the teachers, whoever were teaching, were kept under what the kind of education they are being provided should not go against the old order. Hence their education was also kept under check. So the major principles are the federal German states would not frame their popular separate constitutions, because he was not against the constitutional form of government. Second thing, the German universities would be kept under the strict control of the government representatives. The teachers were instructed not to propagate harmful doctrines and hostile to public order. The organizer of Brunsfacto was declared illegal. The press was also censored. Even the police were reformed. The whole policing concept has been reformed, which was made more stricter and more vigilant. So what did it happen? So it has crushed the revolutionary. He made sure that all such revolutionary feelings has been crushed in the earlier phase itself. However, once it comes, it spreads through the people. See, you can crush them only for certain periods. Their activities could be crushed, not their philosophies. So if you could see what happened in 1830, the French Revolution. The 1830 French Revolution. It again inspired the people to take a revolt against their governments. So what did it do? Many of the people have revolted. Many of the people of the states have revolted, and the rulers of the states were also progressively accepted their demands and given constitutional form of governments. But what would Metternich do? He would not accept such kind of principles. So he made sure these revolts were crushed and made the rulers of the states reject these constitutional changes which have been made. Finally, after that, the second most important thing is the establishment of Zollverein. No other thing has created a base for the unification of Germany than this, the concept of Zollverein. What is this Zollverein? It is a custom union. Custom union ante enti European Union laga idi kuda oka union where free trade is possible. See, when you talk about European Union, it is an economic union, the next phase, where you have common currency as well. But here it is the customs union, where free trade is possible. See, these people, when united under Napoleonic rule, understood that all the states together would help the bourgeoisie class a lot. That is the industrial class or the working class better, because now it is the era of the traders. Now landed aristocracy was moving into the trading and other manufacturing sectors. Now it is more favorable to them. They have seen that free trade would promote their economic interests. So initially Persia and three more states have formed this Zollverein, which is the economic union. Many states were not happy, were skeptic about what is going to happen, because they are not sure. So they were away, and in fact they have propagated against it and formed their own unions. But this has proved to be a bigger success than anything else. And finally after some time, all the states, all the German states which were there came under the Zollverein, even the southern states. Now, for the first time, they have seen that being united would give them so much of economic gains. See, from 3 states to all the states, which means look at the kind of effect it has shown in the field of economics. It has greatly promoted their interest, economic interest. Now, for the first time, look at the psychological effect it would have given on these people. Now, people will have the first-hand information of what advantage they are going to have in a united Germany. And for the first time, they all of them have come together, forming a union and making their decisions for growth of their own states. See, ఏదైనా ఒక యూనియన్ ఫామ్ అయింది అనుకోండి, వాట్ విల్ హ్యాపెన్? ఇట్ విల్ గివ్ యూ ప్రెసిడెన్స్. యువర్ ఎయిమ్ ఇస్ యూనిఫికేషన్ ఆఫ్ జర్మనీ అండ్ హియర్ యూ ఆర్ షోయింగ్ ఇట్ సక్సెస్ఫుల్. సో the effect it has shown on the unification of Germany is unprecedented. Okay, see, many people might say it is Bismarck. You will be having questions of whether it was only through Bismarck this has happened. Tell me, is it only through Bismarck? No, they have established a basis. All these have established a basis. A period of all this period, the students, the literature, and the democratic ideas. All this has created a sense of nationalism among the people. People were ready to revolt. People wanted to be unified. Okay, so the next thing is revolution of 1830 and finally the revolution of 1848. So in the revolution of 1848, what has happened? ఏమైంది? పోనీ ఏ రెవల్యూషన్ ఇది? ఫ్రెంచ్ రెవల్యూషన్. అమ్మయ్య, ఇదైనా గుర్తుంది. ఏం జరిగింది ఇప్పుడు? పోనీ మీకు గుర్తున్నా చెప్పండి. కరెక్టే. Tell me what exactly happened. So it was a revolution basically. It's a French revolution which was spread throughout the European countries, right? Its effects has been shown even in the Italian unification also, right? Right or wrong? What happened in Italy? Piedmont has given constitutional monarchy. Right or wrong? Constitution was established there. Based on that, constitutional monarchy was formed as the form of the government there. Right? Did the king accept the rights of the people or not? He has accepted and has given a constitution for them. So similar kind of effect was shown even in the German states. Okay? Now even Persia, the Persian king also accepted the liberal constitution, where we are giving rights to the people. Now after this, what will happen immediately? Now see, now the king has declared himself as, the Persian king has declared that he wanted, his aim is to unify Germany. And many people consider as the leader for the unification, because Persia being the largest state with German population. Okay? Now he has conducted the Parliament of Frankfurt in 1848 to discuss the unification of Germany. Now there were elections conducted to this. Parliament jarutundante, you want representatives. For these representatives, elections were held, and the representatives were sent to the Frankfurt Parliament. What happened there? Here, many of the representatives here were with republic ideas. They wanted to establish the new order. They wanted liberal democratic ideas to be promoted. They no longer wanted kings and monarchy. They wanted to establish a republic, a government headed by the people. So what were their aims? Democracy of a limited nature should be established in Germany. A constitution based on liberal republic principles should be enacted. And the second thing, a federation of Germany should be established. The objective should be to pursue it by legal means without disturbing the relationship with Australia. What are these legal means? What do you mean by this legal means? Laws, obviously laws. So what are they going to do? Federation form అయింది, they wanted unification. So what do you exactly mean by through constitutional means? You need to understand the statement.
Legislature.
Yes. So the legislatures of each of these German states has to accede to the by through voting or plebiscite or whatever means might be. They have to accept to by constitutional means to enter into the union. అర్థమైందా? ప్రతి ఒక్కరు వాళ్ళ కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్ మీద, అంటే మనం ఎవరిని ఆక్యుపై చేయం, మనం ఎవరిని బలవంత పెట్టాలి, లేకపోతే రాజు డిసైడ్ చేయడు జాయిన్ అవ్వాలా లేదు. త్రూ కాన్స్టిట్యూషనల్ మీన్స్ పీపుల్ ఓటింగ్ కానీ వాళ్ళ రిప్రజెంటేటివ్ ఓటింగ్స్ కానీ వాళ్ళు డెసిషన్ తీసుకుని దే హ్యావ్ టు జాయిన్ యూనియన్. దట్స్ వాట్ దేర్ ఎయిమ్ వాస్. అండర్స్టూడ్? అర్థమైందా అర్థం కాలేదా? యూనియన్లో, ఫెడరేషన్లో కాదు. ఫెడరేషన్ అంటే ఏంటి? ఫెడరేషన్ వై వాజ్ ఇట్ ఫార్మ్ ఫర్? సెక్యూరిటీ, మెయిన్లీ ఫర్ సెక్యూరిటీ. హియర్ ది యూనిఫికేషన్ ఇంటూ అ సింగిల్ స్టేట్. అండర్స్టూడ్? అర్థమైందా అర్థం కాలేదా? అరుణ్ ఒక్కడే చెప్పాడు సమాధానం. సో దెన్ వాట్ హ్యాస్ హ్యాపెండ్? సో దే హ్యావ్ డిక్లేర్డ్ దట్ they wanted a republican form of government. Okay, they wanted a republic form of government under through constitutional means, and they wanted Austria out of this unification. They don't want Austria in it. In this unification they don't want Austria completely, and they want the king of Prussia, Frederick Williams, to lead this or declare as the king of this union. But what happened? The king of Prussia was not willing to take this position. He was against this. Why? Because first thing, Austria is not a small power to be fought with. And Metternich might have left for England, but still he is powerful. Right? So he don't want it to upset the balance of power in Europe. And his opinion was accepted by many of the kings of these states. So all of them accepted it. So the federation, the negotiations have completely failed. So the negotiations of Frankfurt has completely failed. Now what will happen? Now this is done. Now this is the map. Now the unification of Germany has to be done. And the people wanted to be done through which means constitutional means. But then came the era of William I and Bismarck. Believe that through constitutional means you can never achieve it, because in the present day politics, that is during that day politics, it is not possible to achieve things through democratic means. Hence he believed in the policy of blood and iron, that is through war only which this could be achieved.